All right, so are you ready to get a little creeped out? Because this one is pretty spooky.
Oh yeah, buckle up.
Yeah, this deep dive is going to take us into some seriously creepy territory.
I love it.
So we're looking at these excerpts from Phantom Stories. And you know how sometimes local legends
Oh yeah.
get all mixed up with like supernatural stuff?
Right.
Well, that's exactly what we've got here.
It's like that feeling you get like when you're in a place where something just feels off, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's a history there, but nobody's talking about it.
Exactly, and it all starts with these three friends, David, Sarah, and Mike, who decide to explore this abandoned house.
Oh, the abandoned house trope. I love it.
It's like a horror movie staple.
Right? It never gets old.
It's called the Renshaw House, and it's in this tiny town, Clear Creek, where like nothing ever happens.
Until now, right?
Until now.
So what's the deal with this Renshaw house?
Well, it's got this whole creepy history surrounding it.
Okay, lay it on me.
Like rumors of curses and rituals, and the family that lived there just vanished without a trace.
So it's already got that like ominous vibe before they even step foot on the property?
Oh yeah, big time. And you know those kids, they're like drawn to it.
Of course they are.
They're poking around in the overgrown backyard, and they end up digging up this old wooden box.
Buried treasure. Oh boy, this can't be good.
It's not good at all. This box is like straight out of a nightmare.
Okay, I'm already hooked. What's in the box?
Well, first of all, it's got this rusted lock and this weird symbol carved into it.
Spooky.
And inside, there's a cracked porcelain doll, a faded family photo, like, you know, the kind that just gives you the chills. And then the real kicker, a leather-bound journal.
Ooh, a journal. That's where the good stuff is.
But it's not filled with like happy memories or anything. It's like page after page of frantic warnings.
Warnings like, what? Don't go into the basement.
Worse, like it follows, don't let it see you, you know, that kind of stuff.
Okay, no, that's creepy.
And then there's this one line that Sarah reads aloud. By the time you read this, it will already have begun.
Oh, no, they didn't.
Oh yeah, they did.
Talk about tempting fate, right?
Seriously, it's like they just unleashed something by reading that line.
So what happens next? Do things start getting weird?
Oh, things get really weird really fast. We're not talking like subtle signs here.
Give me the details.
David starts hearing heavy footsteps in his room every night.
Oh no, that's never good.
And Sarah, she wakes up at 3:15 a.m. every single night without fail.
3:15 a.m. classic witching hour stuff right there.
Right. And then Mike finds claw marks on his bedroom door.
Claw marks, like
Right.
animal claw marks.
Way too big to be any animal anyone's ever seen around there.
So it's starting to get real.
It's getting very real and everyone's starting to freak out.
I bet. So are they starting to connect this to the stuff they found in the box?
Oh yeah, they're putting two and two together. But you know how it is with these things.
Yeah, denial is a powerful force.
Exactly, especially when you're talking about like supernatural stuff.
Right, because if you admit it's real, then you have to deal with it.
And nobody wants to deal with that.
So what do?
Well, Sarah, being Sarah, she decides to do some research.
Smart girl.
Yeah, she starts digging into the history of Clear Creek.
See if there's any precedent for this kind of thing.
Exactly, and what she finds is not comforting at all.
What does she find?
She uncovers all these local legends with like strikingly similar themes.
Okay, like what?
There's the story of a miner who vanished without a trace.
Classic ghost story material.
And then there's this one about a school teacher who barricaded herself in the attic and started writing all these crazy warnings on the walls.
Us familiar.
Right. It's like this whole town is built on a foundation of don't mess with what's buried.
And of course they did exactly that.
Oh yeah, they went full-on grave robber style, and now they're paying the price.
So it's not just a coincidence, it's like a pattern.
Exactly. It's like whatever they unleashed is connected to the history of this town.
And it's not happy about being disturbed.
Not at all. And things are about to get a whole lot worse.
How much worse can it get?
You'll see.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Because one night David sees it.
Sees what?
The figure. A figure in his backyard.
Oh no. This is where the story takes a turn.
Big time. And this isn't like your friendly Casper the Ghost situation either.
So what's it look like?
It's all wrong. Like distorted proportions, hollow eyes.
Stuff nightmares are made of.
Exactly. And things just spiral from there.
I can imagine.
Sarah starts seeing her own reflection distort in mirrors.
That's messed up.
And then the worst possible thing happens.
What? What happened?
Mike vanishes.
Vanishes. Like gone without a trace.
Gone. Just poof. After an encounter with that same terrifying figure.
Oh man, this is bad.
That's bad, real bad. It's like this entity isn't just messing with their minds anymore.
Right, it's actually taking people.
Exactly. And now Sarah and David are like totally alone trying to figure out how to stop this thing.
This is getting intense.
Oh, it's about to get a whole lot more intense.
I can't wait to hear what happens next.
Well, you'll have to wait for part 2.
You're killing me.
But trust me, it's worth a wait.
Okay, I'll be patient.
Good, because the story is about to take a very dark turn.
I'm ready for it. So they're stuck with this journal, right? This like chronicle of terror, and their friend is gone.
It's a nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
And they're desperate for answers, so they keep poring over that journal.
Looking for any clue, any way to get Mike back.
And finally, Sarah, she finds something.
What is it? Some sort of ritual. A counter curse.
It's a message, but it's cryptic, like something out of a riddle. Return what was taken and seal it with blood.
Whoa, okay, that's intense.
Right. Talk about a moral dilemma. They follow the instructions of this journal that's basically a guide to summoning something terrifying.
It's like a horror movie version of Follow the White Rabbit.
Exactly. But what choice do they have? Mike is gone. This entity is clearly dangerous.
They're trapped between a rock and a hard place.
Exactly. And they're running out of time, so they make a decision.
You're gonna try to return the box.
Yeah, they figure they have to at least try.
So they head back to the Renshaw house.
Under the cover of darkness.
Oh man, talk about a bad idea.
I know, right? It's like they're walking right into the lion's den.
But they don't really have a choice, do they?
Not if they want to save Mike. So they go back to the house, find the spot where they dug up the box and start digging again.
And I bet the atmosphere is just thick with dread.
Oh yeah, it's like the air itself is heavy with menace.
Like the house is watching them, judging their every move.
Exactly, and then just when they think it can't get any worse, it happens.
The figure appears.
Yeah, but it's not just like a quick glimpse this time.
It's a full-on confrontation.
It's like something out of a nightmare. The ground starts shaking. There's this deafening roar.
And they finally realize just how out of their depth they are.
They're totally unprepared for this. Like they brought a knife to a gunfight.
But then they remember that message from the journal, right? Seal it with blood.
Yeah, Sarah. She grabs David's hand and they cut their palms, letting their blood drip onto the box.
A blood sacrifice.
It's a desperate gamble, but they're out of options.
So what happens? Does it work?
The entity, it lets out this ear-splitting scream and then vanishes.
Gone. Just like that.
Gone. But the silence that follows, it's almost worse.
It's that eerie calm after the storm.
Exactly like the world is holding its breath, waiting to see what happens next.
And Sarah and David, they're left standing there covered in blood, traumatized, but alive.
But they know it's not over. Not really.
That feeling that something is still out there lurking just beneath the surface.
Exactly.
Yep.
They may have survived this encounter, but they're forever changed by it.
Haunted by the experience.
And the journal, it holds one final secret.
One that will change everything. They went looking for adventure, and they got a whole lot more than they bargained for.
Yeah, they stumbled into something ancient and powerful. Something that's been lurking beneath the surface of this town for who knows how long.
And now they're part of that story, whether they like it or not.
It's like they've become characters in their own horror movie.
Exactly, and the scariest part is that their story might not be over yet.
It's that lingering sense of dread that really gets to you, right? Like, even though the immediate threat seems to be gone, there's still this feeling that something's not quite right.
That's the power of these kinds of stories. They tap into our primal fears, the things that keep us up at night.
It's like that feeling you get when you're walking alone in the dark and you know you're not really alone.
Yeah, like something's watching you, but you can't quite see it.
Exactly. It's that uncertainty that really gets under your skin.
And that's where the real horror lies, in the unknown, in the possibility that something terrible is just waiting for the right moment to strike.
This whole story is like a giant question mark, isn't it? Like, did they actually unleash a supernatural entity, or was it all in their heads?
That's the beauty of it. You can interpret it in so many ways.
Is it about the power of belief? The dangers of curiosity? Or is it just a really good ghost story?
I think it's a little bit of all of those things.
It definitely makes you think about the choices we make and the consequences that follow.
And it reminds us that some secrets are best left buried.
So what happens to Sarah and David after that? Do they ever find peace, or are they just constantly looking over their shoulders, waiting for the other shoe to drop?
Well, the source goes on to tell us that life in Clear Creek seemingly returns to normal. The whispers die down, the strange occurrences cease, and the Renshaw legend fades back into the background noise of the town.
But for Sarah and David, the ordeal leaves deep psychological scars.
It's like a trauma that they can't escape. They survived the encounter, but a part of them is still trapped back there in that terrifying night.
They're living with the knowledge that something dark and powerful is still out there.
And that it could come back at any time.
So even though the town has moved on, Sarah and David are still haunted by their experience.
They're living in two worlds, the world where everyone else seems oblivious to the darkness that lurks beneath the surface, and their own world where the horror is always just a heartbeat away.
It's like they're carrying this secret burden that no one else can understand.
And then, just when they think they might be able to convince themselves it's over, Sarah receives a package in the mail. Inside, there's a small carved wooden figure, the same one they found in the box with the journal.
Oh no. It's like a chilling reminder that the past isn't finished with them yet. It's like the entities reaching out from the darkness, toying with them.
It's a classic horror trope, the return of a cursed object. It serves as a reminder that some things can't be escaped, that the choices we make can have long-lasting consequences.
And it's not just the figure, there's a note with it. Just 4 words. You didn't finish it. It's like a threat, a promise that the horror isn't over, that there's still players in this terrifying game.
It seems like Sarah and David are still connected to the entity, that they haven't truly escaped its grasp.
So even though they thought they had buried the box and sealed it with blood, whatever they unleashed is still out there waiting to be awakened again.
The source heavily implies that it suggests that this cycle of curiosity and consequence is destined to repeat itself.
This whole story is like a warning, isn't it? A reminder that some things are best left undisturbed.
Exactly. It's a tale about the allure of the unknown and the price we sometimes pay for our curiosity.
And on that note, we come to the end of our deep dive into the unsettling world of phantom stories.
We've explored the dark corners of Clear Creek, uncovered its hidden history, and confronted the terrifying consequences of digging too deep.
But the story doesn't end here, does it? The question remains, what secrets are lurking in your own backyard? And would you dare to dig them up?
That's for you to decide.
So until next time, stay curious, but be careful, because you never know what you might unleash.